Hello, one and all. Why am I on this side?
I don't know. A little confused there.
Gonna mess up my sides here. Oh no. Well,
Everybody, WTF.
welcome to Funkin'.
Funkatopia.
I don't understand why I keep forgetting to say that. That's like that should be our thing now. Yeah, for those of you just joining us, we do a little bit of a pre-show. It kind of gives you an opportunity to get in and get comfortable while we kind of goof around and talk about a little bit of whatever we happen to talk about, and just kind of it's just having fun and just saying hello to everybody. So let us know where you're coming in from. And I still don't know why this Facebook user thing happens. I know
Shirley from Philly. Yeah, is that Cammy again? I'm guessing. You know, it happened with Alfonso before, so it must. I don't know, something about maybe their
there was a
relationship with us. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what everything was going on, but this is the pre-show, just so everybody knows. So don't freak out, and you're like, "Oh no, I'm missing it." It's okay. We do not start this show until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a 12-minute wait from right now. So we kind of give people a chance to kind of get in and get comfortable and chill and relax and have some good time and talk about all kinds of craziness.
Light of cigars.
Let me tell you, there has been some craziness. I'm telling you. You were speaking about. Well, let's say hellos. You were speaking about Alfonso Starr, and there was a big kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle's back.
There was a kerfuffle. There was a big kerfuffle. People were jumping on Alfonso's case about saying that he was stealing money from Rosie Gaines and all this stuff, and it was all craziness. It was just insanity, and it was just over the top, and it was ridiculous. And needless to say, you guys can go down that rabbit hole if you want, but it was a big stinkeroo that happened over the past few days. Somebody that we know, somebody that we saw at the celebration, and just basically just went off on, I guess, this person gets in moods and starts
stuff just comes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It just starts happening, and
there's always one or two.
Yeah, and some I don't know. Sometimes it's founded, sometimes it's unfounded or whatever. But it's
that person who shall remain nameless. But for now, we'll call them kerfuffleophagus.
So, but it was so bad that Alfonso Starr, who has not been online in about a month, had to come on and be like, okay, let me explain what's going on here. And after he explained it, it was just ridiculous. And so,
well, yeah. Well, that's going to happen. Unfortunately, no matter what, this is the internet's.
Yeah, this is the internet. People getting it.
The internet.
All right, we're getting behind on our hellos here. Yes,
what's
we got
up, Brian. Greg.
Yes. Yep, we got Cammy that was Cammy. Veronica is in the house. Clarissa's in from New York City.
I was calling you out, Shirley in Philly. What's up?
Audrey, what's going on? It was good to talk to you the other day.
And I'm proud. Susan was the first one on, man. Susan was there. So hey.
Yeah, anytime there's drama in the purple world, Audrey and I take it offline, and we just like, oh my God, we're like a bunch of we're a bunch of biddies. Oh, you wouldn't believe! Oh my word! Yeah, we don't take any of the negativity online. We keep it all offline. But Eddie, how you doing? Yeah, I think you've already said hello to Krista. Hello,
Audrey. Yes, Brian,
it's going to be so much fun.
Revolution 80.
Hey, what's going on? Alfonso Starr in the house. See, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just Alfonso's here. Here's the thing. I know both of these individuals that are in this mix, and I can tell you that Alfonso has been nothing but the most gracious and friendly and just most outgoing and positive person on the planet Earth that you've ever met. So it was like,
I'm not surprised at
that. It's just weirdness. It's just
like you said, the kerfuffle.
It's a kerfuffle.
And we met kerfuffleophagus. That's
it's a hoodoo.
It's a hoodoo.
It's a hoodoo. Well, yeah, but just keep it positive. You know, exactly. we don't get buried into that. But you know, for those who like the drama and DVR Wendy Williams, feel free to go down the rabbit hole and do your thing and do whatever. But
exactly. Because I don't even get into all that drama. As soon as it starts, I'm like, shut down. I'm back. I don't do rumors. I don't do drama. I don't even have room for it. I'm about having fun, and that's it. Once somebody starts getting angry, I feel myself getting it, and I'm like, oh, see, I don't need that energy. I don't need it.
I take it. I love drama, but I like to take it offline. I don't want any negativity. This is the purple circle. I just can't.
Right.
Just can't.
Right.
It's too much. It's too
Once
much.
again, I know Chris mentioned it earlier. This is the pre-show, and we are pre-showing, having a good time here. We're just getting a chance to say hello, get you guys ready. Those of you who still forgot your drink of water, need to run to the bathroom, all that fun stuff, do it. And if it's not water, I know there's some people that have something else. But
sometimes we have wine nights and what not, and so we got just a few more minutes, and then we're going to go live here. Our special guest, Mychael Gabriel, is already in the waiting room. God bless you, Mychael.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah, we see you, but we don't want to have to bring you into all this lunacy.
Not yet.
You can just sit back just for a second, because I want to make sure that you guys know that tonight we have a very, 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 very special guest. He's been on the show before a couple years ago. He actually has a bumper on the Funked Up radio station. Mychael Gabriel, who is the guitarist for Sheila E, but he has worked with a laundry list of people. An amazing. He's an amazing musician, an amazing talent, and ladies, he's easy on the eyes. And but the other thing, I don't know why I said that.
It's kind of creepy too. Don't lean into the mic when you say stuff like that.
Easy on the eyes.
ASMR. Mychael Gabriel's here.
Bucketopia. But on this other thing too is that he's got a brand new album that's going to be coming out very, very soon, and we have not one but two exclusive clips that we're going to be playing tonight. He's got a brand new single that's out called Celebrate. I hope you guys have already gotten it. If you don't already have it, we're going to put up the link for you guys so you can make sure that you go get it. Go get it. Because I've been lucky enough to hear a good chunk of this album. I think like 7 of the tracks already, and it is incredible. It's a really, really good album. And I think I've said this before, that if I don't like something, or if we don't like something, they're not going to be on the show.
Not going to get on. It's not going to happen. So nothing personal, but
I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to simply be like, the schedule's really tight.
Yeah.
And
we'll still smile in your face, though.
We can say, I
will say this one though is special because it's fun. That's
right.
That's the only way I can put it. Like everything about this is fun. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. So we're going to play a little clip of Celebrate. We're going to play a clip of the second single that will be released off of this called Let There Be Light. And then we're going to also play another little clip of, I think what's going to be the third single. I don't know if they've officially named it a third single or not. We're going to play a little clip of another track called Madam, I'm Adam. And all right here, exclusively. Oh, and I guess I could probably say this too. I think I'll wait till the show. I'll wait till the show to break some other news, to break it out, because we only have 3 more minutes before we go live. We're going to bring Mychael Gabriel in, and we're going to chat about all things Mychael Gabriel. And of course, we'll talk about Sheila. Of course, we'll talk about some of the work that he's done and some of the amazing people. And
that Mychael Gabriel guy,
that dude.
And I'm just saying, I can't wait because I got some words for you.
Yeah, we got some words for you, fella. And what I'm positive that Mychael is not ready for this interview. You've seen what we've laid out here, right, Jeff Page? He's not ready for this interview. Yeah. He's not ready for this.
Yeah, but no matter if anyone's ever seen him on stage, you know he's going to be a good sport. He's definitely high energy, so it won't matter. He's fun.
Yes. He is second in energy on stage, only to Sheila E. when he's on stage with Sheila.
Right.
So quickly before we start, I did want to say here's something that I have I have forgotten to do every single time since we've been back from Minneapolis. We went to the celebration, and every single time I forget to do this. I literally went to the vinyl store, Cheapo Records in Minneapolis, and I only picked up 3 albums this time, which was insane. Last time I had a stack. This time I only got 3. So I want to showcase them to you. 2 of them are actual albums. The first one is the Chamber Brothers.
Yes.
And let me tell you, it's called Love, Peace, and Happiness for the Chamber Brothers, and it is fan-friggin-tastic. It is amazing. This album is incredible. Also, I found a very, very early album of Kool and the Gang live at PJ's in Hollywood, California. And this is a very early album of Kool and the Gang. So this is there's one song where there's vocals. That's how early it is.
That's how early it is.
That's how early it is. It is like funk.
Jam session central right there.
It's just funk jam session. And the other one, which is going to be of interest to a lot of people, and I saw this and I was like, is this a thing? I saw this and was like, is this a thing? It's apparently a thing. You guys are you ready?
What?
The Times. Not Morris Day and The Time. This is The Times. And they are a northern band. They're out of I think they're out of Detroit, I think. And
man.
And they're called The Times.
The Times. The Times.
And they are funky. So it kind of leads you to believe that maybe Prince heard about these guys and was like, well, technically we're The Time with an I, not a Y. And we're singular time.
He pulled the Vanilla Ice.
I don't know. But even down, look at them. They're even dressed up and they're all looking at their watches and stuff. I mean,
I'm sure he was
come
like,
on.
we're gonna do this better. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to put this song on rotation on the radio station. I'll let you judge for yourself. They're not funk by any means. They don't sound anything like The Time, just to be clear.
Right.
Just to be clear, they sound nothing like The Time. But they are funk and whatever else. But all right.
Showtime.
It's showtime. Let's move over. All right, you guys ready? We're going to do this. That was the pre-show. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I don't know where I was talking over there. That was the pre-show. Thank you very much.
Hey, good job, man. Good job on that pre-show.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it. You ready?
I'm ready if you're ready.
You ready? Let's do this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Funkatopia Live. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest. He's been on the show before, but this time around, we got a lot more to talk about, and I'm a lot more prepared than I was the first time around. It is the one and only Mychael Gabriel, who you may know is as well. I guess I don't want to kind of go down this list, but he's a very special guest this evening. Credible vocalist, multi-instrumentalist, in the vein of the greats like Stevie Wonder and Prince, where he plays everything and he does everything. And I genuinely really don't understand why he hasn't exploded yet, to be totally honest. I mean, his music, he has an incredible, strong voice. He's, as I said in the pre-show, he's easy on the eyes for the ladies. He is also
it will never not be creepy when you say it.
I know, but I forgot to lean in.
You gotta lean in ASMR.
He's incredibly easy on the eyes for the ladies. He is also actively touring as a guitarist with one of the most beautiful women on the planet, inside and out, as you mentioned. One of my personal heroes and one of my teenage crushes for sure, Mrs. Sheila E. Yeah, I know that I'm not alone there. I know that I was not the only one who had a poster of her on my wall. There's no way. I mean, Sheila E. is God dang. You know how to say it. But go ahead. You were going to say something?
No, I'm just saying, she's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can't. We could sit here and hem and haw on that all night long. Yeah. Beautiful. Anyways, but he has also worked with many greats in his career, including Earth, Wind, and Fire, and George Clinton, Tony. Tony Tone.
You gotta say it.
Tony,
Tony.
George Duke, Gary Clark Jr., Snoop Dogg, and so many others. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one and only Mychael Gabriel.
Buddy. How's it going? Yeah.
Oh man.
Chris.
Oh man, it's an honor to have you here. We got to make you. Should we make him large right now, or should we just kind of keep him in this little upside down pyramid thing?
For now.
All right. For now, we'll keep you here, so you don't have to do the large screen just yet. But
then we'll blow you up.
You were killing me with that easy on the eyes and close in on the mic.
Easy on the eyes. Mychael Gabriel is in the house.
Gabriel, easy on the eyes.
You know what? That's a song title. There's a song title somewhere.
There is a song in there.
Easy on the eyes. I'm gonna remember.
There it is.
Yeah.
Good. And make sure I get some type of
I'll make
byline
sure
credit.
Get your proper credit. Sure.
I don't need a cut. Just a little byline.
I'm not gonna leave you out.
You watch next album. It'll be there.
Yeah, next album. Yep.
I'm looking at it. Brand new album. Speaking of which, brand new album that's coming out from Mychael called Genesis. Do we have a date on the album release on this?
We don't. I'm just kind of letting things kind of simmer a little bit right now, but there's going to be more information on that soon.
Great.
Okay.
So we're going to chat a little bit about it, but there is a special announcement that I was going to say at the pre-show, but I didn't. I wanted to save it for the show. We kind of got clearance here to share it. Longtime listeners of Funkatopia know that we've done album release parties with bands before. We've done album release parties with Foe, with Bootsy Collins, and others. And coming soon, you will get to join Funkatopia along with Mychael Gabriel for an exclusive virtual album release party right here on Funkatopia and only here on Funkatopia. And let me just say,
the fireworks. The fireworks
there it
are going off right
that's
now.
right. That's right. Yeah, exactly. So let me just say that you will not want to miss that. So stay tuned in about a week or two once we kind of lock down when that release date is going to be, and we'll have an announcement on the specific date and time. Again, right here and only here on Funkatopia. You just and let's face it, you never know who's just going to stop in.
Exactly. Make sure that you're here, so you're not one of those people saying, "I wish I was there." We don't want to hear that from anybody because we're not boo-hooing. So make sure you're here for this. It's going to be big.
We do not want to be responsible for any FOMO whatsoever,
and no kerfuffles after the fact.
Absolutely not.
I'm just trying. I need to scour the internet and find out how many times people have said the word kerfuffle in the past year on the internet. I've got to be the only one, right?
Yeah, you're probably right on the top.
Yeah, maybe, but the past 2 years have been pretty crazy. So
it could be.
There could be many more kerfuffles that we've been unrealized.
That's
true.
There's your next song title right there.
Yeah.
Easy on the eyes.
Kerfuffle.
That's a B-side. That's a B-side for sure.
Right.
But we'll come back to that after we kick back for a bit and hang with Mychael here, so that all of you can get to know him first. Because after you get a better understanding of who he is, you are going to want to get this album, and you're going to want to join us and wait, just like we are, impatiently on pins and needles for this album. So let's do this. First off, Mychael, how are you, man?
I'm great. I'm really great. I'm so happy to be here on the show with you two. I've been spending a lot of time with this app, though. Maybe you've heard of it. It's I don't know. I mean, there's just so many jams on this. If you haven't heard of this app, you just need to check it out.
I think I may be familiar with that.
Yeah.
And I might add that app, which is actually pretty cool of the creators of that app, is to be ASCAP licensed too, so it's all legit, and so the artists are actually getting paid for the music being played.
I love it. How about that?
Yeah.
What a concept, right?
What a concept.
It's unreal.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah. Who'd have thought that the people did not want to get sued?
Right.
So that is so awesome that you have it on
awesome.
there. But and I know that you've been playing guitar with Sheila. Sheila is still on tour. The Ticketmaster shows a performance happening this weekend in Michigan. I don't know if there's any others, but Ticketmaster only shows that one, and then you guys are off to the Netherlands.
We're going to be doing a European tour. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how long on it is. It's about 2 weeks or so. We're going to be in Europe, but all the dates should be on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one in Michigan, and then you go to the Netherlands, and then I think there was a floating one in Atlanta that was canceled from 2021 that keeps being moved around and hasn't landed on a date yet. But absolutely, let us know when you're here for that. We would love to come and hang out with you. But
absolutely.
We've been there when you've been here. So
hey,
we have. Yeah, we just got done seeing you, and I was the one that was frantically waving when you guys were in Stockbridge. I was like, Michael, Michael.
I think I remember that.
He's so easy on the eyes, Michael.
Right.
What is the toughest part of touring for you guys?
It's the traveling for sure. It's the traveling. We always say the traveling is the real work. And when we get to hit the stage, that's the fun part.
Yep.
That doesn't even feel like work. But it is kind of weird. We talk about it a lot where, you spend all this time planning the logistics, the hotels, the transportation, the months of planning for, 90 minutes.
Right.
And so that's all the work, all that planning, all the lead time before the show and the traveling. It's all worth it in the end for those 90 minutes.
Now, what impact on family? I mean, tell me about the impact of that for you.
I say my wife is a saint. That's what I always tell people. And that's why it works.
And so when you get back to your family after having a long time on the road, what is your go-to activity? You guys go check out movies, or what is it that you prefer to do more than anything?
I just saw the new Thor today. And I'm not spoiler person, so I'm not going to do that. But we're into the Marvel movies. Yeah. Top Gun, Maverick. I know we're not here to talk about movies.
We can. Yeah, sure.
Have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
I've seen a bit of it because my friend has Plex. And so he put it up there, but it was a crappy version wherever he got it from. So I was like, I'm not watching this. I got to see this in the theater. But I did see Thor in the theater, and
I actually have all the plans to go see it. I had a conversation with someone, and they've heard it enough times, and I've heard it enough times. So it's definitely time to go see it.
Yeah,
Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the one.
Because Thor for me, I kind of feel like, I don't want to date this, but Thor for me, okay, let me do it. Let me do it. I don't know what you're doing. We're like doing a little dance here. Let's him go over here. Hey, how about that? We'll do that.
I'm easy on the eyes.
He's easy on the eyes.
He's much easier than I am. So, anyways, I just feel like Waititi just kind of went overboard and made it too goofy. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. It had some great visual effects and it was fun, but
it's definitely one of those where it helps to just kind of unplug and just go, okay, I'm
right
here, this is what we're doing.
Right.
But I don't like giving away spoilers or anything, but we walk away with a decent feeling every Marvel movie. I don't think there's has yet to be an utter disappointment. So
I would agree. Yep. I would agree. I would definitely agree on that. So you already know this, and obviously, as you can see, we are hardcore Prince fans here, and of course, a majority of our crowd is hardcore Prince fans all over the world. So, and I know a lot of people do not know this, but please tell folks about your background in the Purple world, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. My parents, they met on the Purple Rain tour. My dad was in the Prince camp. My mom was in the Sheila E camp. And so I always tell people, if it hadn't been for that tour, I would not be here. So I'm kind of a product of that era, that Purple Rain tour specifically.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's a little bit of my background, and our families have been connected ever since.
Right.
And so
absolutely.
That's had a heavy influence on me, not just in a personal aspect, but musically as well. And it's kind of helped shape and mold who I am.
Yeah. So let's dig a little bit into your music background or your capabilities as they were. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about this in a little bit deeper, a little bit later. But there's a brand new album coming out called Genesis, which we mentioned. You did the writing, producing. performing and engineering for pretty much the entire project.
Yeah.
What was the first instrument that you picked up and fell in love with, and how did it go from that to simply doing everything? What was that progression like?
So actually, it all started. I'm a songwriter first.
Right.
That started, I don't know, like as early as I can remember. The first instrument that I picked up and was immediately drawn to, almost without saying, because of the Prince influence, is the guitar. The guitar was everything for me, growing up as a kid. But I didn't start on electric guitar. I started on acoustic guitar, like taking classical lessons. And I was not the most enthusiastic about practicing at the time at 5 or 6 years old or whatever.
Right.
And, then I heard an electric guitar from down the hall. And I said, oh my gosh, that's what I'm used to hearing. My dad looked at me and he said, you want to learn how to play like that, right? And I said, yeah, yes. And so then the rest is kind of history as far as, guitar goes, because it was just such a deeply embedded in me, just the passion for the instrument. And the songwriting portion, I grew up with the being told that if you can hum it, you can sing it. If you can sing it, you can play it. And so that was just kind of the whole, I just picked up whatever. My household, we had bass, we had guitar, we had every instrument you can imagine. And my parents were just super supportive. And so that just helped evolve me into just, okay, I'm just going to pick this up and write.
Yeah. So, we're here to talk about your incredible new album that is coming out soon, but I have to take a side street just for a moment for good reason. So bear with me. Sheila E, working with her is no joke. Let's face it. She already had a stellar career before she ever connected with Prince. Most people didn't know who Sheila was before Prince kind of, gave her own solo albums and kind of started doing the thing with her. But the reality of it was, her success before him was literally why she was on his radar.
Yes.
We all love and adore Prince here, but let's not get it twisted.
Right.
By the time he set eyes on her, she had already played with George Duke, Lionel Richie, Marvin Gaye, Herbie Hancock, Diana Ross. And here's the reason why I bring this up. She had already toured with some of the greatest to ever do it. And when this is before Prince,
yep.
And even including Prince, and all the things that she learned in production, staging, performance, how to be effective at a supporting role in the background, and the expectations you had to meet with the people that you're playing with, all balled up into the mighty, mighty Sheila E.
Yep.
So when you step on the stage with her, she is going to make sure that every single piece of that performance meets her expectations.
Absolutely.
She's just a wealth of professional knowledge. So here's the question. I know that there is a lot that she has imparted on you, but can you maybe identify one piece of wisdom that she dropped that constantly sticks with you every time you step on the stage with her? Is there something just some piece of advice that just, it's like in constant rotation in your head?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is very specifically to be mindful of the notes not to play. To be mindful of the notes not to play. Sometimes not playing at all, or because there's so much to play. There's so much you can do in music. It's like unlimited.
Right.
So it's important to be mindful of the pause, of the breath, because that makes the emphasis when you go in and, okay, I'm going to wail on this note now. It just makes the impact that much more intense. So that's probably the biggest one, is just to be and to listen, because music
Right.
is a conversation. We're not just talking like this right now. There's a back and forth. There's hills and there's valleys. You have to listen to the people you're communicating with, the other musicians. So if somebody's swearing over here on the instrument, you got to be mindful. It's like, okay, I'm going to let them kind of do their thing. If somebody's, doing something else over here, you just got to be mindful. It's a back and forth. So that's a twofer.
Right.
Be mindful of the notes not to play and listen.
Right. And I don't know why I was large the whole time you were answering, but that's okay. I didn't switch it back.
It's all right.
So you
know what, Chris?
Well, I had to make you
easy.
small.
You know what? I'm gonna get close to the mic. You're easy on the eyes too. Don't forget that.
Stop it with you.
Don't forget that.
So you guys, you're touring all over the world with Sheila E, and you just got done playing the World Games too, which I saw. Tell me about that experience.
Man, there's so many experiences like that where you don't know what you're a part of until after the fact. Or I don't want to say like you don't appreciate it, but like it's almost like you don't appreciate what you're part of until you're able to take a back seat and just kind of look at like, oh wow, I'm a part of this huge, massive thing. And I felt that a couple times with various things I've been fortunate to be a part of. But that one in particular, we got there, and it wasn't until all the athletes started coming in. There was like 3,600 athletes a part of the thing. It's like the Olympics. And so when they started filing in, like I was just in work mode up to that point, just thinking about, okay, this is what we got to do, just kind of going off the checklist of different things. And then when the athletes came in and the music started playing, I started getting emotional. I was like, wow, this is like a huge thing I'm a part of. And then I looked at the crowd. It's like 40,000 people in the stadium, all together. This is, kind of post-pandemic. Everybody's doing the wave. It's like, it was just beautiful to see everybody together again. And in that capacity. So, yeah, it was a huge blessing.
I mean, that kind of environment where you're playing to that vast of an audience. It's just, there's just a lot of places I can imagine, venues that you've played that are just truly overwhelming to play. You guys play at historic venues. You're crossing paths with legendary musicians and artists. But what are some other places that come to mind that you just can't stop thinking about? Like a moment or two where I know you had just mentioned that the World Games was one of them, but can you think of another place where maybe it was the group of people that you were playing with, or where you were in that moment where you just said to yourself, this can't be happening right now?
I can't think of the name. It'll come to me later. There's this venue in the Netherlands that's like an old converted church that was really, really cool. The Grammys, of course, it's huge. First Avenue. I'm from Minneapolis, and it's kind of a local sort of thing, but it's an extremely historic venue. Yeah, it is. So when if you even just step in there, you're just like, wow, I'm really here.
Right.
We did the Hollywood Bowl. That's another kind of moment where it's like, wow, I'm here. And then you think about all the other artists that have stepped foot on that stage, and you're just like, that's huge. We did Summit of the Americas. We played for the President of the United States and a few other leaders and dignitaries.
I think we may actually. Here's a picture of Sheila and Joe.
Yeah. I was right behind her in that shot.
Wow. Couldn't use a wide camera on this, could you?
Yeah.
The nerve.
We got some other great shots in here. What was this? That's a great shot. This is probably one of my favorite shots. You and Sheila jamming out. I love this freaking shot. Yeah. Do you have that other shot, Jeff? So we were talking about this shot right here. This is an awesome shot. But one of the things, did you make her mad by chance that day? Because one of the things I noticed, and I'm going to make Jeff's page really, really big.
She's giving you the finger, man.
I think.
She means it. So that's what I'm talking about communication. So she's swearing. She's literally swearing on the instrument. She's meaning it. So you get listening, paying attention.
Every bit.
so I'm looking at my guitar like, hey, did I do something wrong? I was like, oh.
That's a wrong chord symbol. All right,
Yeah.
this is a great shot too. I think this is the Prince tribute. I think, if I'm correct.
This one is the World Games actually.
Oh, it is right.
This is just the one we did recently.
It just dawned on me when I looked at her outfit. No, that's not what she wore.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one more shot too. This is a great shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about this shot.
That was again at the World Games. We were right before we were about to go on, and So I think all of us in that moment we were like, "Wow, we're a part of something really big," And so often we just kind of you get into when you're touring all the time, you just kind of get into, okay, this is what I'm doing today, without really taking into account. It's like, oh, wait a second, this is what I'm doing today. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's I mean, you've just been able to share the stage with just amazing folks and be in some really, really cool moments. And I mean, for you, not only just Sheila, but you have played literally in a who's who laundry list of artists. I mean, George Clinton, we had mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, Earth, Wind and Fire, Ringo Starr, Stevie Wonder, John Legend, Hans Zimmer, Gary Clark Jr., Tony Tone, George Duke, Joss Stone, Usher, Beck, Snoop Dogg, St. Vincent. I mean, just, it's like this long, long list. But I need from you a little bit of the story about some of these artists, because I just have to know. I mean, what you did and maybe what it was like playing with them, maybe a tidbit memorable moment that you had with some of these artists. Let's start with Snoop Dogg.
Okay. Yo, Snoop, he's like Uncle Snoop, honestly. Like if I have to be perfectly honest, I almost wanted to call him Uncle Snoop within like 5 minutes of meeting him.
Wow.
He's just so chill. Like it's just, super relaxed, easygoing, and the session was just a blast to be a part of. When we were just jamming, and I walk away with each one of these experiences trying to take something positive away from it and kind of running with that. And just the humility is something that really was touching. Is this guy's, he's a legend, and still you go into his environment and you feel almost like he's inviting you in as Uncle Snoop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you doing with Snoop at the time?
So it was, we got called in for a session, and it was just a jam session. I still have the recordings. And so he has the recordings, I have the recordings. I'm not sure exactly what's going to come of it. But yeah, it was just it was a jam session.
Yeah. So basically, what you're hearing is Snoop has his own vault.
Yeah. Right.
So I've seen enough of the commercials. Did he hand you a Corona? I'm just saying.
I was waiting for it. I had my hand like this, and he's like,
"Hey, dude."
Yeah.
Let's move on to George Clinton.
Yeah. So that one in particular was surreal because it was a voice that I was used to hearing as a kid over and over and over and over. And all of a sudden he's in the studio with us and we're recutting one of his songs. And so when he gets on the mic, it's I don't know how to explain it other than it's like, oh, it's deja vu. It's like, I've heard this before and it's the same, but it's different. And it's like, it's a voice you're used to hearing all the time. And all of a sudden he's right in the next room.
Right. Yeah, it's just I can't even. I've got an opportunity to meet him a couple times, and I have a couple funny stories that I've said multiple times, but I'm not going to waste any more time saying it again. But he's just one of these guys. It's just
I so wanted to take his some of his things because we were doing Mothership Connection, and I wanted to take little snippets and just turn them into like ringtones or like on my phone. So it's like, we have come to reclaim the pyramids. When I was like, I plan to do that at some point. I don't know if I'll share. I can't do that, but just for my own personal sake, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, Alfonso said he just saw you with Sheila E. at the Alameda County Fair, June 30th. Man, this is some. I mean, the fairs are always great places to see music. You always see it when you see it on the list of places to play. You're like, do I want to play a fair? And then you get there and you're like, oh, this is fun.
It's fun because the people really want to be there, and it's just a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to Stevie Wonder. We'll do one more after this, but
yeah, that's almost like one. It's like. I almost don't even have words for, because it's such a huge inspiration to me for such a very long time. I remember the first time that I met him, not working with him, but I met him at this restaurant, and I shook his hand, and I didn't wash my hand for like a week after that. It was just like, wow. I mean,
we'll just assume you never went to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. Right. Not mean to overshare, but that's how it felt. Yeah. So then,
I know.
Yeah, getting a chance to do a project with him. It was for a charity event, but it was huge. It was huge for me.
Yeah, I was the same way when I met Prince. When I shook his hand, I was like, I don't want to be that guy, but. I don't want to wash my hand right now. I feel like I'm just kind of, it's like being blessed by the Pope. It's like, it's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Right. Yeah.
It's just, I totally feel it.
And I don't feel like that with very many people with him.
Yeah. Right.
It was very special.
So and we're going to talk one more, because here's one that I'm really curious about. Ringo Starr. So, not many people on the planet have got the opportunity to jam with a Beatle. So what are you doing with Ringo Starr? Was it one of the All-Star Jam?
That one in particular, that was specifically on Sheila's record, Iconic. We were recutting Come Together. And so Ringo actually invited us to his compound, which was, like, for me, it was a
compound.
Yeah, and it really is like a compound.
Wow.
It's not a house. It's like a compound. And he has a big star right in the front of his driveway. Of course he does.
Of course he does. Why wouldn't he not?
And the gate leading to his compound has stars on it.
Wow.
Of course. But again, that's another example of, someone so huge and so legendary being so humble and open. That was another Uncle Ringo situation. The first time ever meeting him, I get out of the car and he just wraps his arms around me and gives me a big hug.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Did you get an autograph by chance?
So I had met him prior to working with him, and so I had one from kind of years ago. But you're in that setting and you kind of want to play it cool a little bit, as opposed to hey, Ringo, by the way, here's a plethora of things I want you to say.
Well, and the reason why that's important is because Ringo made the announcement, I guess it was about 4 or 5 years ago, that he's no longer going to sign anything else. So so there's no more autographs from Ringo that are happening, which is amazing. And but I know what you're talking about, because I don't think it was until the third time that I met George that I got his autograph. I kept on getting backstage. He kept inviting me to the shows as press, and I kept seeing him, and I just, you're like, is this the right moment? Is this the right moment? No, I don't want to screw this up and be that guy. But luckily I had a book on me the third time, and I was just like, can you sign your book?
Right. I've been carrying it for several years.
Right.
In the back of my trunk, just in case.
Just in ready mode.
So now a lot of people don't know this. You talked about Iconic, but you were an engineer on Sheila E.'s Icon album, and you also had your hands on Message for America, if I remember correctly. So, and probably a bunch of others that we don't know about. Of course, in this MP3 world where folks don't get to see album credits anymore. Tell me about the pressure of engineering an album like that, and maybe also some other work that we may not be aware of or know about.
Well, Sheila in particular, I've been working with her since I was 16 years old. So there's been a lot of lessons learned. Let's just say
I was
that.
going to talk. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes time to do a project like that, you feel like you're readily equipped and prepared to handle almost whatever comes at you at that point in my career. So when we started doing some of those recordings, it was fun. I was more focused on the fun than I was, worried about any technical aspect of it. Because at that point in time, especially with those two records, we've been working together so long, where it's like we almost don't even need words. Like, I know what she wants, I know what she likes, I just know how it goes.
Right.
So it wasn't so much pressure. It was just more fun. I look back on those experiences with, I have a lot of fond memories from those two in particular.
It's funny to hear you say, since I was 16 years old, and then the next sentence, at that time in my career. And I'm just like, wow, that's amazing, because at that age, a lot of people don't have those type of opportunities. Right. And when they come through, they have a choice. And your choice was the right one to be you and push forward. And so that's just an awesome thing to hear. It's a rare thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I recall Questlove talking about doing some work on Al Green's album, and he was talking about how, I guess at some point in time, something was going wrong or they disagreed on something, and Al Green was so mad that he was yelling at him. And Questlove was like, oh my God, Al Green is yelling at me. The legendary Reverend Al Green is like red-faced mad at me. And you kind of preface this a little bit when you mentioned that lessons learned. Are there any specific engineering or production hard lessons learned that happened along the way that kind of stick out in your mind? You're like, oh, okay, I'm never going to do that again.
Specifically, I mean, it's kind of with the music thing. It's like you just have to. Communication is so key. Like that's really it. It really is as simple as that. Your technical acumen. Of course, you want to study it, make sure you really know what you're doing in the studio, whether it's engineering, recording, mixing, mastering, whatever it is. You want to make sure that's up to par. But once it is, it's all comes down to that communication aspect. So if that's not there, that's when things fall apart. That's when the mistakes are going to be made. And it even if you do make a mistake, just be open and honest about it. Communication is everything, especially when you're in the studio, because, they say like business is business, personal stuff is personal. Like in the studio, it's kind of a mixture of the two. It's kind of an amalgamation of the two, because music can be so personal. Somebody could be bearing their soul on the mic, and you're like, oh, sorry, I wasn't recording that at that time. Oh. It's like, that was the take, that was the one, and you just missed it, so, just communication.
Yeah, it's gotta be rough. And just so we're clear too, for the audience, feel free to ask any questions. We got a lot of people in the audience, and I don't know where your comfort level is. Yeah, Susie's like, I hope they can say. And Susie actually had a question, and I don't know where your comfort level is on talking about some of this stuff, but I've seen this question go by a few times already. Mm-hmm. Susie wanted to know if you could talk about your parents, who they were, and I guess you had mentioned them earlier before. So
yeah, I don't mind reiterating. My dad, he worked with Prince. My mom worked with Sheila E as her lyricist and tour manager for a time, and so the both of them, they met on the Purple Rain tour, and so. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I have to laugh because we have a visitor here. Sheila E. Drummer wants to know, who is your favorite artist?
Who's my Sheila E. Of course. Are you kidding me?
Well, give me a break.
The queen of percussion.
I mean, come on, for real. Thank you. And she has another question. Do you love playing with Sheila E?
Oh my gosh, more than you know. More, I can't even put it into words. No, but for real though, that is totally true.
That's awesome.
Sheila, thank you so much for hanging out. Yeah.
Love you, Dina.
So, not everything can go smoothly all the time. So can you tell me about something that went horribly wrong during a show that the audience never even noticed? I love little stories like this where something kind of goes totally haywire and you're like, wow, I'm glad nobody saw that.
Right. I'm not going to name the event that we were doing.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. But so we had checked our monitors like 4 times. So for those of you that don't know, with Sheila's band in particular, a lot of bands do this, but we have our headphones just in our ears as we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
She's divulging. Sheila's divulging now.
I see your comments now. Just now, they just popped up. Yes. Just give me a moment. So we checked our monitors 4 times so that we could hear each other play, and it's hard is an understatement when you can't hear yourself playing. It's like playing air guitar or air drums or whatever you're playing. And so we checked our ears 4 times. When you do a sound check, you normally save the scene. So like if you're writing a paper, you click save. It's common knowledge that you're writing an essay, you make sure you hit save. You're doing anything, you hit save, right? We're just kind of pre-programmed. Command S, right?
Right.
So if you're
save, got it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the monitor engineer wasn't hip to this common knowledge, and even after being reminded 4 times, so we had like 4 different sound checks. Okay, are we good? Are we good? Because you said you saved it last time and you didn't. He's like, don't worry, I got it saved this time. We hit the stage, air guitar, air vocals, air bass, air drums. I pull one ear out and I can hear that the front of house is still going, but we can't hear anything. And so we're just forced to play the entire number just off of muscle memory, not hearing anything.
And that's where.
And we're on camera, so we have to smile and wave at the same time. It's like nothing's going on, but we could feel it on stage.
Yeah, that's your blessed training working with Sheila E.
Right.
That's where work ethics really kicks in and people learn the hard lessons. Because if you didn't know your stuff, there's no way you could have pulled that off.
It shows. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I've probably seen Sheila, not including the times that she was playing with Prince. I don't know, at least 12.5 times. I don't think I've ever seen a bad show. So if anything bad happened, you absolutely positively wouldn't know it, because Sheila's just one of these performers where she is just immaculate with her delivery, just immaculate with her performance, and again, she has played with the greats, and so it's ingrained in her just the way that she puts together a show. So I could imagine that even if you didn't have ear monitors going, you could probably just play along in silence and probably be able to make it.
Her energy is infectious.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that right there, you're put at an advantage no matter what situation that you end up in.
Yeah, it was like his new single is amazing, and I absolutely positively would agree. Here's a little clip of it right here.
Listen up real close to me, the sounds of Jubilee. Yes. Don't give me that look, because I know you got nowhere to be. Relax, baby, before I show you how to be.
And we got to make sure that we don't play too much, because they'll start kicking us off.
We'll be kicked off on Facebook. Yeah.
Facebook is one of these. It's one of these problematic places. They're like, that's copyrighted music. Everybody go. So if anybody starts being kicked off, please just head over to YouTube. Yeah. And luckily, Sheila E is on YouTube, so she's not going to get kicked off. This is a Facebook thing, just so we're clear. So here's a random question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, it is fire. It absolutely is fire. And we're going to play a couple other tracks too, just so you know. We're going to be playing we'll be playing Let There Be Light, and we're also going to play Madam I'm Adam, and I got to get some of these backgrounds on some of this stuff. And for those who just joined us, I know you're kind of, who is Mychael Gabriel? Mychael Gabriel, some of you may know him as the guitarist for the one and only Sheila E, who is joining us here in the chat room. Thank you, Sheila, for joining us. And also, Sheila, you're more than welcome to come on too if you want to join in. I think both Greg and Michael know how you can get in here. You can talk him up all you'd like. But we are here to talk about his brand new album that is going to be coming out. They don't have a release date, but I will tell you that we are going to be doing an exclusive album release exclusively on Funkatopia. We're going to be having lots of fun people in the house. It's going to be amazing. And so Sheila's not coming on right now. So it's going to be a lot of fun, though. You definitely want to tune in because we're going to go over the entire album and we're going to talk about each one of the tracks and the history of each one of the tracks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait for that. Anyways, yes, Sheila, don't go anywhere. Your commentary is fantastic. It's just, So, as you know, as I said before, there are a lot of Prince junkies in the house, and you have a lot of the same qualities as Prince. Now, careful, slow now, easy, because I don't want to make any Prince fans mad. But really, multi-instrumentalist, write your own music, great stage presence, great voice, good lyricist, dynamic, loved by Sheila E. I mean, you absolutely have talent in excess. But a lot of folks are not even familiar with who you are. But you have a lot of similarities to Prince and his influence, the biggest commonality being the instrumentation and the production of the compositions. And each song has actual instrumentation on it that's actually being produced. You actually produce the songs, real music by real musicians. You play keys, guitars, bass, drums, percussion, all live recorded, no samples or loops. And not just those similarities, but you also have, as we already mentioned, a lot of ties to the Purple family. So if you can, talk about how you walk that fine line where you are obviously affected by all those influences, but somehow still manage to stay in your own lane with the music that you create.
Yeah. I feel like it's important to honor what came before. And for me in particular, like I was listening to this style of music before I was born, like in the womb, literally. Like this music is ingrained to me as not just a musician, but like as a person. So there's just aspects that I can't really help that just come out naturally. And so it's not anything. And, I really hope it doesn't, none of it comes off as contrived because it's just what comes out when I step into the studio. Like I don't sit in the studio and go, okay, I'm going to write a song that sounds like this. It's just, something that just comes out.
Right.
And yeah, so to your point about mentioning, thank you, everything being played and performed on live instruments for this record in particular, that was very important to me because I wanted everything to sound as organic as possible. Like I wanted it to sound like a living, breathing organism unto itself. And something that I did learn from, you talk about, sort of the Purple family and Sheila in particular, huge credit to this, is to play, everything was played from beginning to end. And so there's no copy paste and not, like that's fine. Like there's no rules in music. You can do whatever you want. You can use samples, you can use loops if that's what you want to do. But for me, it was very intentional that like everything was played from beginning to end. And so I think that had a huge influence on, I hope that had a huge influence on the overall sound of this record in particular.
Well, you were going to say something, Jeff? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to say that it had to have, because in the songs it allows you to feel a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to cut, okay, we're going to do this section, we're going to do this segment, and then whatever. But when you go all the way through, there's no doubt that you feel something and everyone else feels it.
Right.
And so, we're going to connect to that regardless
true.
of anybody knowing why.
That's so true.
Right.
Even if it's the same guitar lick, even if it's the
Right.
same part, it's like, and that's, again, huge credit to Sheila. That's something that I learned working with her in the studio, because she does that all the time. Even if she's playing a triangle, there's no copy and paste. It's
Right.
like, okay, we're playing this part all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
That it just is what it is, because that one hit on the triangle is going to be different. That one is going to be different than the 100 other times that we did it.
Right.
Just ever so minute.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps breathe life into the music.
Yeah, so many amazing comments. We got some questions here. Sue Silverman asked, I heard you cook. What's your favorite dish to cook?
I love food so much.
Like what level? Are you like a cooking show junkie like I am? Like I could watch like all of those cooking shows and I get inspired, but then I'm like, you got to have, the trick is you got to have all those ingredients. You have to have all those ingredients in front of you in order to make that happen.
Yeah. They make it look easy on the shows.
Right, they do.
So I got into, we'll digress for a moment. I got into barbecue cooking shows for a time.
Huh. Okay.
And I can't remember what the show was, but literally me and my wife, we said, okay, let's just go drive down to Kansas City like tomorrow, because we have to taste these things called burnt ends, which we had never heard of before. And man,
Yeah.
I tell you, if you don't know what burnt ends is, everybody on this channel, if you don't, if you don't remember anything else from this interview, go try some burnt ends.
And we hope that you remember just a little bit
Yes, we
more.
hope you remember everything.
Just a little bit more.
But that's the takeaway.
So Sheila says, exactly, no cut and paste. My dad, his dad played B.B. King music when he was 2 years old. His mom took him to guitar classes. He plays everything. I taught him everything he knows. Oh, Sheila's a trip. Yes, Chris says, I am ready to buy this album. Jeff, do you have the link to the Celebrate thing? Let's put that up there, because this is one thing I do want, because we did actually, I got it right now. We actually do have, we're going to be playing a little bit clips here and there, but again, we need to be real careful because of the way that Facebook is. They'll kick us off. But there is a link right there to purchase the Celebrate single. And of course, this is a great opportunity to also like and follow him there on Amazon, so that the second that this album gets released,
Right.
then you can actually, you'll be alerted when it hits the airwaves, and you'll be able to, and also, just so we're here, let's do this. Let's make sure that we put up all of his information,
How about that?
so that all of your stuff is out there, so that people can actually get to you. And yeah, Sheila, okay. First, let me just go ahead and tell you what an honor it is to have Sheila even in this chat room.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
she is an absolute hero. I mean, one of my high school crush. I've been watching her. I've been seeing her in concert since the 80s. I know you said that your parents met at the Purple Rain concert. I was at 3 of the 5 Purple Rain shows in Atlanta. And I mean, so I've been following the whole Prince camp for a while. Unfortunately, I was one of those people that was not aware of Sheila until after, Prince brought her on. But once he did, I was hooked. Right. I was hooked for life.
Yeah. She was my mentor and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Because in my when I was younger, in my parents' basement, in the basement, I had all the instruments as well, and I had a drum set, and I set it up always according to how she set hers up.
Yep.
And so when I was playing drums, I had the cymbal over my head. I had all that stuff. And it's just watching her and wanting to be that great. So
yeah.
Awesome.
It's like I tried to do the percussion thing too, because I'm a professional vocalist, and so singing is my superpower. However, I always wanted to do something extra. I tinkered a little bit on guitar, I tinkered a little bit about all the instruments, but I I said, you know what? Maybe percussion is where I'm at because I feel like that's just where I gravitated to. But then every single time I see Sheila do it, I'm like, okay, maybe. It's like, okay, all right. There was another question. Did you? Oh well,
I
think that's Cam. She says love burnt ends. There was another question. Krista says she's ready to buy this album. Just again, go to Amazon. Make sure that you like him on Amazon. So the second that it hits there. Now again, we announced this also that we're going to be exclusively on Funkotopia doing a virtual listening party. So we will be, when this album gets released, we are going to have we're going to do all the songs. We're going to talk about all the songs. Talk about the history of each one of the tracks, the meaning behind each one of the tracks. We may have some special guests joining us. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be blasting out to everywhere. We're going to blast out to Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, the Funked Up app, the ASCAP licensed Funked Up app. We're going to be doing, it's going to be blasting out Mixcloud. We're going to be blasting it out everywhere all at once. So just be ready for it. It's going to be an amazingly fun.
And you want to make sure you're there because, as we said, these songs are great. And when you hear these clips, you're going to think the same thing. It's going to be, you'll be glad you were here. Do not be that person. I said it earlier. Do not be that person that says, I wish I had heard that. I wish I was online with you guys. Be there. And we're going to make sure to announce it. So be there. That's all. This is some good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
So I want to talk a little bit about your new album here, but right before we do this, I also want to make sure that we have a chance to kind of give a tip of the hat to some of your OG fans that are out there before we do that. You know, you've had some other previous releases, like Ghost in the Midnight, Honesty, Sights and Sounds, Fury, Invictus. Some are socially conscious pieces. Others, happened during the height of COVID, and you were kind of in a little bit of a creative process. Which, luckily, you were one of those because there were some artists were in that period, and they could not get that creative bug because they weren't playing in front of live audiences, and they had the exact opposite effect. Lucky for you, it did not. But can you talk a little bit about some of those releases that happened during that period of time, and what are some really proud moments among those? And lastly, as a multi-part question, anything that you probably had greater expectations for that really didn't get much traction during that period?
Yeah, I think that question can be answered with one song in particular, both of those questions. Sights and Sounds. That was a song that I had written like years ago that I just kind of revisited during the pandemic and recut some parts of it. But the video, I was really, really, really proud of it. We shot it in the living room because it's, the height of the pandemic. And we had to get just really creative. And I learned so much from that project because I'm not really a video person, but I had to be in that instance.
Right.
Because, it's just, necessity is a really good motivator to do things and learn new things. So that one in particular, I look back on that video. It's, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on YouTube, Sights and Sounds, Mychael Gabriel. But that song in particular is probably one that I look back fondly of. And hey, who knows? Maybe people will check it out later and go like, hey, I've never seen this. It's kind of interesting.
Well, okay, so let's do this. Let's move on to the brand new album and talk about some brand new album questions. As mentioned many times, you have a brand new album coming out called Genesis. I think we can share that link one more time if you want to purchase the single, the little piece of the single that we just played called Celebrate. And again, the album is called Genesis. And as someone that has heard half a dozen of these tracks already, I am so psyched for this album. You Purple fans are absolutely going to love it. So tell us a little bit about this album. How long has this album been in the making, Genesis?
A long time. And that just has to do with part of what the album is about. The album is part biblical allegory, part speaking of the genesis of myself as an artist, as a musician, as a person, and there's a personal journey that's kind of interwoven into the concept of the whole record that we can get into more later. But yeah, it's an album made up of so many things that have inspired me over the years.
Well, I think, the other thing too is that it kind of goes, again, you guys have only heard a piece of Celebrate,
Right.
but, we've already posted the link there. You can actually scroll up for the link if you're on Facebook or YouTube, and you can scroll up and actually, get a little bit of a taste of the song if you want to hear it again. Once again, we need to be careful on Facebook because we don't want everybody to be kicked off. It's
Right.
just this weird thing, but it'll be okay once we repost it. If you did miss any of the show, you can also listen on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify. After the show's over, we'll make sure that it gets all uploaded there. So you can, if you've missed anything, just tell us a little bit about the track "Celebrate" that we were listening to.
Yeah. So that track, we've been through a couple of years of craziness, and I was in the studio and I said, I want to write a song that kind of conveys what I think heaven sounds like, and that's how the song came to be. There's a lot of things that we're all going through, or have been through in these past 2 years, in particular, 3 years. But we should never kind of lose sight of the horizon. And we need to remind ourselves to celebrate and kind of loosen up, and, there's a lot to be grateful for. And so that's what the song is about to me.
So, and we mentioned this before, you play all instruments, but can you tell us about some of the other artists and musicians that were involved in this album?
It's just me.
That's
the beauty of it.
Perfect. So, and the next single that is coming soon, as far as Celebrate is concerned, the Celebrate's the first single that's out there now, but there is another song called Let There Be Light that is going to be the next single. If you guys want a little piece of that, here's a little piece of that.
Gonna bring the heat and play the keys. Never been the one to take the back seat. Know what I mean? You look to be like a mushroom burning fire. When misbehaved.
Now, one of the good things is that Facebook doesn't know this song.
Yeah, right.
Right. We can play that one.
You are exclusively hearing this next single, Let There Be Light, right here. You're not hearing this anywhere else. So
Not
just
preferred
we'll play.
anywhere.
Don't stop it. Today, not uptight.
But yeah, so that's a little bit of piece of that. That's Let There Be Light. That will be the next single. And just so we're clear, I wanted to make sure for those listening, that song, Let There Be Light, will be the next single off this album. And I love this track so much that I already told Greg this earlier. I am buying a copy of the MP3 of that song for everybody that is a Patreon supporter of Funkatopia. So if you are a Funkatopia supporter, it's like well over 100 folks. But if you are a Patreon supporter of Funkatopia, you will receive a legitimate paid for copy, paid for by me, because I want you guys to have a legit copy of this.
Right.
And I want you guys to hear it. I want you to enjoy it and get psyched for the album when it comes out. So if you are a Patreon supporter on Funkatopia, you are going to get a copy of that MP3 once it gets released in your email. So look for it. That track is fire.
It really is. It really
Thank
is.
you
And
so
when you-
much.
Yeah.
It-
No, go ahead.
No, it is absolute positive fire, and I want to make sure that all the Funkatopians who are supporters via Patreon get a copy of this. I will be purchasing it for you, so you are going to have it. So if you're already there, just expect it. But we have to wait until it's officially released before I can get it in your hands. But it's that good, dude.
Yeah,
So tell me a little bit about this song too, because it's a song about motivation and inspiration. The lyrics are make my own way because I know where I'm going. Nobody, no way going to stop me today. So tell me a little bit more about the meaning behind that song, because I know that there's more to it than just that underlying message.
Right. It's about being in the zone, just having a reckless abandon about what you do, just fearlessness and almost not carelessness, but just everything's firing on all cylinders. And so like this record, it was really important. I have so many songs. So going back to the songwriting bit just for a moment, not me bounce back and forth, but I just have so many songs sitting on hard drives in my closet for years of songwriting. And it was really important for me to figure out how to kind of put them together in a conceptually accurate way.
Right.
And so going back to the concept of the record as a whole, once I kind of narrowed down, okay, what am I doing to make all these songs together make sense? That kind of birthed Let There Be Light. My dad actually texted me and he said, he's going back to song titles. I wasn't kidding. Going back to the beginning of the interview, I'm going to remember that.
That's right.
Yeah. Easy on the eyes.
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Don't forget kerfuffle.
It's happening. Right. But my dad texted me because, we came up with the concept and the title for the record. But there were some missing puzzle pieces that still needed to be found. And so he texted me really late at night. It was like 1 a.m. or something like that. He said, hey, I have a song title for you. I said, what is it? He said, Let There Be Light. I wrote the song within the next hour. It was just like a stroke of genius that kind of hit me in that moment. And I was like, I can't let it get away, because when you get that feeling, if you wait too long and you're like, oh, okay, I'll record it tomorrow, or, oh, that's a nice note, I'll remember, hopefully I'll remember it. That was one that I knew I had to kind of lasso really quick before it got away from me.
Oh yeah, it's that good of a song. That's one of the reasons why I want to make sure that people have it, because, again, as somebody who's heard a good bit, a good portion of it. How many total tracks are on this album?
There's 12 or 13.
All right, so I've heard a little over half of the album, and I'm telling you, the amount of directions that you go, it's like it's some of it's funk, some of it's laid back in an R&B realms. There's rockers like Let There Be Light. Also, this other track, you know what? Why not? I'm gonna play a little piece of this other song called "Madam, I'm Adam." Check this out. Just enjoy this. Oops, I got turned up a little bit. I mean, just this whole entire album is just it's
a ride. It's a journey, man.
It is like a roller coaster. Just the songs I've heard, it's a roller coaster, and I can't wait to hear the other pieces that complete the whole picture. It's like having a part of the jigsaw puzzle, and it's like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see this whole friggin' thing.
That makes me so excited to hear you say that, Chris. Honestly, that's sweet.
No, I mean it's true though. There's so much good music. It's just, I mean, and Susie said, yeah, that one has a real Lenny Kravitz feel for me. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, some of the songs do have that feel, that raucous, raw energy, and it is, it's fire. Yes, Sheila, I would agree.
Really
it's absolute fire. Trey's like, you're a bad man, Michael.
Thank you, Trey.
And I'm really paying attention to the mixes, and I really like the sound. Like, it's really.
Thank you, man. Sometimes you're so close. You're so close to the painting. Sometimes you're like, it's hard to take a step back. So that's great to hear as well. Thank you so much. Oh,
it's great. We're gonna put that link one more time. If you do not have Celebrate, get it right now. I just put it up on Facebook and also YouTube. One more time. If you didn't get the new single Celebrate, make sure that you get it. It's going to be fantastic. And make sure that you follow Mychael Gabriel on Amazon, so that as soon as that hits, or if they do a little bit of a pre-purchase opportunity, you have it. So just do that. Do it now while we're sitting here and chatting and whatnot, because right now we're going to do a little bit of a fun thing that we call the line of questioning. Oh, wait,
it's a little low.
It's a little low. Let me turn it up, because I think it has to be loud. Hold on a second. The line of questioning. Okay.
I like it.
I really got to do more with it, Jeff. I need to send
Yeah.
it to Michael and let him dice it up a little
You
bit.
need to let me do something with that.
Okay, we'll do it. Yeah, I mean that
Line
was
of questioning.
a lot of questioning. So basically, what this is these are just ridiculous questions. Some are not ridiculous, but hopefully it will maybe, poke or engage you a little bit more, maybe to think of some stories that you had from the past or whatever. But most are not like that. Most are just idiotic questions.
Just idiotic questions.
So the first question is: ice cream, pudding, or frozen yogurt?
Ooh. Why isn't custard on there?
That's Jeff Page. This was your question. Why
Wow.
why? I'm gonna throw you under the bus, Biff. Why isn't custard on this on here?
I'm gonna add that to a future question.
Okay.
Okay, we'll put custard in there for future reference. So if custard was in there, is custard your choice?
Custard, yeah.
Okay, but
It's like creamier ice cream. I mean, if
True.
I had to choose, I guess it would be ice cream, but custard is creamier.
so which leads us to the next question: if you could only eat one flavor of ice cream for the rest of your life, what would it be?
White chocolate raspberry truffle.
Wait, what? We asked Jeff Page. We asked Paul Peterson
I
this
told
question.
you I told you I like food, so I give
We-
these things a lot of thought. Anything
well,
that has food, it's
We
food
asked.
related.
Well, here's what's interesting about this. We asked last week. St. Paul Peterson was on the show, and we asked him something really, really similar.
He said peppermint bonbons. So it's gonna be stuff that nobody expects. That's awesome.
There's
Right.
never a direct There's never a direct answer with this. We have
Right.
from St. Paul Peterson last week said peppermint bonbons, and your favorite ice cream
White
is
chocolate,
white chocolate
raspberry.
Was there more to that?
Truffle.
Mint,
Yeah.
truffle.
Truffle.
That's
It's
awesome though.
You know what? You know what it is, Jeff Page.
It's that palate. He's got that special palate. You know what I'm saying?
These
Palate is
superstars.
everything. I like
These
it, Jeff.
superstars got to have this bonbons and truffles.
Wow.
Wait, so that kind of begs the question: what would yours be, Jeff and Chris? What would yours be?
All right, Jeff Page, go first.
See,
Mine's basic.
Mine's simple, man. It's Oreo cookie.
Okay.
Yeah,
day
cookies
long.
and cream. Yeah, see,
All day long.
mine
Cookies
is
and cream or Oreo cookie.
mine is pecan praline, and that's only because of the fact that you can't find it anymore. It's like the only time you can find it is in like a frozen yogurt type of
Yeah.
thing, but it's got to be right. It can't be like some cheap Mayfield version. It's got to be.
It's got to be legit.
It's got to be legit. Brian says butter pecan for him.
Okay.
And chocolate mint for Susie Queen. All right, so we got. So if Sheila's still here, we can get her favorite ice cream, but you probably know what it is. So speaking of which, you're touring with Sheila E, and you get to try some amazing cuisine from all over the world, and you're a cook. On top of that, what is the one thing that you can think of that you've eaten that you can't get or find in your hometown that you thought, man, I can't wait till I get back there to have what? Is there some type of cuisine in the Netherlands or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Groningen, actually. So there's this pizza called the Capsalon. Locally, it's known as the Capsalon. And what it is, it's like kind of garbage pizza. So it's like pepperoni. There's different peppers, like Italian spices and whatnot, but they throw French fries on top of it, and then like kind of Greek seasoning. A Greek, like the white sauce, the tzatziki type sauce, but it's
Right.
not tzatziki sauce. I don't know what it is. But that,
Wow.
unreal.
Sheila agrees.
It's
I want
unreal. Oh man, I
Okay.
never thought of putting French fries on pizza until that moment,
Yeah.
and
Gonna have
now
to
like
do it.
now I can't stop. Yeah, Heart Attack City.
I still have yet to try pineapple on pizza. Everybody says that's the
That's
thing.
the best.
Is it
the
really?
best.
Chris.
Okay.
You are
It's
missing
the
out.
best.
Okay.
You don't know what
missing
you're
out.
missing, man. Oh,
All right,
gosh.
okay.
You have not lived until you put pineapple on
Exactly.
pizza. I might get
All
a
right.
lot of hate for that, but
I have to bring you some now that you said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to order it now. Okay, sorry. This is a Jeff Page question. Have you ever laughed so hard that you lost milk or some other fluid through your nose?
oh yeah, for sure, that's happened.
Can you-
It's different phases of my life. I remember as a kid, it was grape soda at my grandma's house. I don't even remember what happened, but it just went everywhere. I think I can't remember what movie. It might have been Step Brothers. There was a scene with a drum set that I just lost it.
Almost happened to me just thinking about that scene.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that drum set scene in that particular movie, but yeah, there's plenty of movies.
So apparently the silliest questions he's going to tell you, these are Jeff Page questions, not the cool questions, even though Jeff Page has some cool questions too.
They are cool
I
questions.
love it though. I love it.
I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you
I know
credit
that.
for it.
I'm
All
going
right.
to keep them going too.
So I don't know. This is kind of a little bit more of a serious question, and I don't know if Greg prepped you for this question or not. But I asked him to send it to you. So if you're not ready for it, we'll do it another time. What are your top 3 albums that changed your life and why?
Yeah. So that's a question. That's like asking, like, what's your favorite song? Like,
Yeah,
it could
I know.
change
It's
from
tough.
it could change from day to day. Like, what's
Yeah.
your favorite movie? What's your favorite food? It's like, but today, so Greg did send me it, and I was kind of thinking about it a little bit before we got on, and I was like, okay, if I had to think about 3 albums that changed my life, like just the trajectory of me as a musician and an artist, it would be Prince, Sign of the Times, for sure. And especially like the concert film, because like that was playing in my house all the time. So I'm like 2 or 3 years old, running around with a plastic guitar, singing "You Got the Look," holding it upside down, backwards, sort of thing. Like that was my life, for a period
absolutely.
of time. Hotter Than July, Stevie Wonder. It taught me a lot about like just arranging songs and a concept for a record. When you're listening to like the first track, Did I Hear You Say You Love Me, into All I Do, like that sequence, like it's like one song, like they go into each other just so seamlessly. Then by the time you hit Rocket Love, it's just like, forget about it.
That's a fantastic one.
That's awesome.
And then guitar wise, because at the time I had never really heard anybody play the guitar like that. There's a concert CD called G3 Live in Concert, 1997. Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, Steve Vai. Yeah. Like it just blew me away guitar wise. I was like, wait a second, I didn't even know it could sound like that. And so like Cool Number 9, Joe Satriani, like that version in particular, because there's like tons of live versions. But when I had heard that, like it just blew me away. And it's just like I immediately want to go home and grab my guitar and
Absolutely.
try to figure out some of that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm glad you were prepped because I think I've got Hotter Than July on vinyl. I think that's the only place that I have it, so I'm gonna have to break that out.
Yeah,
So
love that one.
I think somebody had asked this question too, that they had maybe, I don't remember who asked it, but somebody earlier, Jeff Page asked that they had a child or their son that was thinking about getting into music.
Yeah.
And what would be your, I guess, recommendations to that person? But I guess this kind of goes with this question. What's the most important thing you can tell another musician who is trying to succeed in this industry?
Yeah, in the technology age, I get that question a lot. In the technology age, it's record yourself all the time.
Yeah.
It's a great way of holding a mirror to your own playing and kind of analyzing, okay, what works, what doesn't work, what can I improve on, what am I getting better at? So like record audio, record video, just record as much as you can. And never underestimate the power of just not giving up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I think those two things. I mean, there's a bunch of other things that I could say, but those two are probably the most important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I would say the number one reason for any failure, and we use failure very strangely because it's no real failure, but it's attrition. It's
Right.
just giving up.
Yeah, it's so
Just
true.
giving up too
Yeah,
soon.
exactly.
And if a song comes to you in the middle of the night, get up,
Yep.
find some way to record it in your phone or whatever, because you're going to go back to sleep and you're going to go, oh, I'll remember it in the morning. You're not going to.
You won't.
Get up, even if it's horrible and you feel like there's no way I'm going to be able to make it to find a recording device. Find a recording device and record it. Some of the best music on the planet came as a result of somebody waking up in the middle of the night with the melody, because there's a part of your brain that shuts off. There's that analytical part of your brain that shuts off that kind of allows the creativity portion to take over. And you can get a lot of amazing ideas.
You're
from
so
that.
true. You're preaching right now, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no excuse for not having a recording device because
Close
everyone
by.
has a cell phone.
Yep.
Yep.
You there are ways to get stuff recorded, and it doesn't matter. He's right. If you can wake up and sing it to yourself a bazillion times, thinking you'll remember it,
You won't.
If you don't capture it,
I'm guilty of that so many times. Because I hear music so vividly in my sleep. A lot of times it's like classical stuff, and it's like, who's playing that music? Like that music's so loud, and then I'll wake up and it's like not there. And so I've learned over time. It's like you just get up, record it really quick.
Yeah, and Prince was aware of that too. Prince was aware of that too. He was aware of that part of your brain that shuts off. And from what I heard, he used to do what I think it was Vincent van Gogh did the same thing, where he would fall asleep in a chair with something heavy in his hand. And as he fell asleep, he would eventually, the ball or whatever heavy object that he had in his hand would drop and it would wake him up. And just that state of mind that he was in as he awoke was a perfect creative, I guess
it's like an
mode for
ethereal
him.
state of mind.
Yeah, it's just this state of mind that you can't get to, any other way. Well,
plus something you said earlier when you were talking about your music, because you write all of it, you play all the instruments, and you go from front to back, you all the way through, track it. We're not cutting and pasting. The feeling and the emotion and the things that you pull out of it, even those people that think they'll remember it, and even if you're successful in remembering later, it won't have that same energy, that same something. So if you at least can capture a recording of it in that feeling and in that moment, you may still be able to capture what you caught, what you had there.
You're absolutely
so
right.
it matches with everything that you do already, which is pretty impressive, incredible.
yeah.
Two together, impressive, incredible,
Yeah,
incredible.
So we're getting deep on you folks right now. So we
it's
kind
all
of
right,
went
too.
from silly questions to other things, but
That was my question, by the way.
that was
like it, Jeff.
that was Jeff Page's question.
Yeah. All right.
Just saying.
But here's another Jeff Page question. What's one lesson you learned from someone that you didn't actually think was important until it saved your butt in the music industry?
That's a tough one, because there's so many instances that you don't immediately recall. Let's come back to that one.
Yeah, I can think of one my boss told me one time, which is whenever you're in an argument, the person that speaks last is the one that lost the argument. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you lost. And I was like, but we are not able to use you lost. And I was like, what's happening here?
I immediately thought of your story earlier about the world show.
Yeah.
Your sound guy, you didn't have it, and the lesson that's what jumped in my head. I said, "Oh, he's going to say that because if you did not work as hard as you did to prepare for that show,
That's
that
true.
hard work."
Yeah, I guess that is definitely one. It's just preparing as much as you can, because you can't prepare for everything. But if you come to a situation prepared, You come to a situation early or an environment earlier than you're supposed to be there is a good one. Actually, being there early has saved me a bunch of times. I can tell you that actually. That I didn't think it was that important at the time. It's like it's like, oh yeah, don't be late, whatever. But yeah, never underestimate the power of being there early because it gives you more time to prepare. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I get real anxious.
Right. Yeah,
I get anxious if I'm going to be late. I don't like it at all. It's a big thing. Do you have a ritual when you get to a venue that you go to before going on stage? Is there some ritual that you did?
Since you're early.
Yeah, I mean, before we perform, I always pray. That's just me. But that's definitely something I do every time. Another ritual, kind of weird ritual with my guitar is I take a black towel and just kind of wipe off the neck. I learned that from I saw our bassist. He was doing that. One of our bassists, Courtney Leonard, was incredible. He's played with everybody, but I noticed he was doing that, and I was like, I never even asked him why, but then I tried it once, and I was like, I feel like it makes a difference somehow. So I never leave without one of these. I even have one right here in the studio, a black towel.
Did you wipe your neck before you started?
You never
the
know
interview?
when you might need it, And so I'll just take it and just kind of wipe it down, make sure it's good,
Is it always a black towel or is it?
So it has to be black. If it's anything
black
else,
towel.
it doesn't work. It kind of loses the magic.
I'll ask you, did you wipe your neck before you started this interview?
I did. Maybe I should.
What does that even mean? Okay. All right. So we just had just a few more would you rathers. These are like quick answers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would you rather have everyone be able to read your thoughts or for everyone to have access to your internet history?
Probably internet history. Internet history for sure.
That's awesome.
You
Don't
want to know what's
right
happening
now.
up in here. You do not want to know. Yeah.
Let's see. Would you rather walk in on your parents or have them walk in on you?
That's terrible. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a pass.
That is easy on the eyes. It doesn't sound good anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't sound right unless I'm saying it. All right, we'll just skip over that one. We'll let you guys marinate on that one a little bit. Would you rather walk in on your parents or have them walk in on you? This is an interesting one. Would you rather have Billie Eilish's future or Madonna's legacy?
I guess I'd have to go with Madonna. I don't know. That's just instinct.
Yeah, legacy I think is way more important. I would rather be not that Billie Eilish is a flash in the pan.
Yeah,
but
not a knock on Billie Eilish at all.
Right.
No,
Wait till we have that interview where we say, or Michael Gabriel's legacy. Eventually.
All right.
Hey,
Would you rather solve world hunger or global warming? That's an interesting one.
that's an interesting one. Because if you don't solve global warming, you're going to have world hunger.
That's correct. Yeah, that's just kind of that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, two more. Would you rather have a mullet for a year or be bald, no wigs, for 6 months?
I
Rather
think I could rock the mullet. I think I really could make it work.
I think you can pull it out. I mean, if you're easy on the eyes, mullets are just like
Hey,
what makes the difference. Yes, it works in your favor. All right, last one. Would you rather ask your ex or a total stranger for a favor?
total stranger.
Yeah, I would probably. That's probably my vote too.
That's a tough one. That depends on the favor for me.
All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The amazingly talented Mychael Gabriel. You now know more about him than you ever did before. Doesn't even matter. He's got a brand new album, Genesis, that will be dropping soon. And as I mentioned, we will have exclusive virtual listening party only on Funkatopia with Michael walking us through all of these songs and the stories behind all those songs. And you just never know who might drop in, but we will announce that date in the next week or two so that you can put it on your calendar and be ready. And also, as I mentioned, Funkatopia Patreon supporters, which is patreon.com/Funkatopia. That's patreon.com/Funkatopia. They always get cool stuff from us, but once the new single Let There Be Light from Michael's album Genesis gets released, I will personally be buying a copy for every single supporter and will email it directly to you so that you have a legit copy all of your own. And also, that the whole purpose of that is to get you excited about this new album. It's coming soon, and I'm telling you, you need to have it. And Michael, I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight and
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
hanging with us and answering these ridiculous questions.
It's such an honor, guys, for real. Such an honor.
Man, it's been so much fun having you on board. Everyone, please make sure, and I think I'll do it one more time. I will post that link to the song Celebrate into the chat area of Facebook and YouTube. Go get it. Make sure that you follow Mychael Gabriel right there on the page. So once the album gets released, you're notified of it. And of course, it's just been an amazing, amazing visit once again. Michael,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
Sir, we will see you soon for the virtual listening party. All right, get some rest.
All right.
All right. Take care, man. Thank you.
Take care, Michael. All right, that was Mychael Gabriel, the one and only Mychael Gabriel. Man, that was fun.
He's awesome. I love that personality. He's just great.
Yeah, man, it's just bubbling. Yeah. If you missed any of it, feel free. You can watch it again on Facebook and YouTube. You can rewind and watch everything there. Also, tomorrow you'll be able to hear it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your podcast. They will be there if you miss any of it. And just so you know, those two songs, Let There Be Light and actually not Let There Be Light, not yet. Celebrate is already in rotation on the Funked Up app. So if you have not downloaded the Funked Up app, go to your app store, go to Google Play and download the Funked Up app. That's FUNKEDUP, Funked Up. And it is a 24/7 funk radio station, and it is ASCAP licensed. So all of the artists actually get. Thank you, Michael, for coming. All the artists actually get paid for being on the station, so it's a complete legit station. Plus, on top of that, there's also a 24/7 Prince radio station there too. You can also check it out there. But man, what a lot of fun! And of course,
Good stuff.
It's an honor to have Sheila E in the chat room as well.
Yeah,
off and on.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for showing up and
yeah.
supporting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mychael Gabriel, you know he's a beast, and we know he's a beast, and we're going to make sure everybody else knows too. So
Yeah,
that's all to it.
Yeah, and so we kept Michael on with us for an hour and a half, which is probably one of the longer interviews that he's done, I'd imagine.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But I always like to get them on and waste as much of their time, waste as much of their precious time as I possibly can. But here's the thing: is that it's important for you guys to understand this. This happens on a regular basis. If we have somebody on the show, it's because we want you guys to pay attention. If they are on this show, it's because it's something you need to listen to. If we don't like it, they're not going to be on the show. It's just
Right.
I'm not going to waste your time. I
We're
would
not
love
gonna
to.
waste your time, our time, anyone's time. Plus, sorry if we don't like something and we put it out there and it is as bad as we thought it was. That really doesn't look good for us either. That's
right. No. So we've got the we've also got the Patreon addresses on the bottom here as well. The patreon.com/Funkatopia. The Patreon supporters that are already members, if the single gets released before the end of July, you guys will get it before the end of July. But if you join in, we'll send it to you on August 1st. We'll send it directly to your email. So Yeah, Lisa says, great interview. Mr. Gabriel has a fan for life now. I'm telling you, you have to check this stuff out. It's just, some of this music is just unfriggin' real. It's just... Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
You're not going to hear that anywhere else. You just heard a clip of a song that nobody's heard. Just so we're clear.
It's only here.
And we got
Exclusive.
special clearance to play the clip from Let There Be Light and Madam I'm Adam, which was what that song was. Those two songs have not been played anywhere. Nobody has those. Like nobody. Nobody has those. And we got special permission to play those. And of course, we played a little clip of Celebrate also, which is available right now as a single. And
the sounds of Jubilee. Don't give me that look because I know you got nowhere to be. Relax, baby, before I show you how to begin. Uptown ain't even right, yeah, you know how it is. I say no. You can't find the cool down on notification.
that song is available right now. That song is available right now on Amazon, and you can go get it, and you can get it right now, and it's available. Get it.
Yeah, just go get it. Just go get it.
I put the link up one more time. How many times I got to put that link up? I don't know. It's just it's fantastic. But
how many times are you gonna say one more time? Because you know it's not one more time.
No, it's not. I'll probably play this. Yeah. I meant to say last week when we had St. Paul Peterson on, I made a promise. Well, not a promise. I said, whoever's active was getting this brand new copy of My Life in the Purple Kingdom by Brown Mark. This book's been out. This book has been out for a while now, but I guess this is like the second edition or whatever, and it's a brand new copy. This has never been opened, as you can see. Also see it's got photos in the middle too. This guy's cool. But you said, well, Cammy, don't you already have this book? Cammy, let me know if you have this book or not. But you said Cammy and
Andrew. Was it Andrew? Oh man, I can't remember. But it was Andrew. He's always on, and it's funny that he's not here tonight.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But Cammy, if you don't have this book, let me know. Do you have this book, Cammy? I'm sure you'll let me know.
Between the two of them, they were
If you do have this book, we'll send it to Andrew. If you don't, I'll send it to you. But it's a brand new copy of Brown Mark's My Life in the Purple Kingdom, and we will get it out to you. Yeah, man, it's been great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. He's definitely a thinker.
Oh yeah,
like he's a processor. You could just tell his wheels are turning no matter what. So
cool. Cammy says she has it, so we'll send it to Andrew. We'll figure out. It out. We'll get it, Andrew. Cool. So the other thing too, we still got like a few more minutes here before we close up. Are you on Clubhouse at all?
I haven't. I mean, I have an account. I don't really go to too many things. So, yes.
Revelers, any chance you guys can get fellas from Maserati? Actually, on the 30th anniversary of the Maserati album, the one that has 100 miles per hour on it, I think there's 2 Maserati albums now. We actually had Brown Mark and was it Law? There was somebody else. So we had 2 people from Maserati on the show. And we talked about all the songs on there. We talked about each one of the songs. It was a lot of fun. So we and Brown Mark's been on the show a few times. So yes, we've had, and Brown Mark, a lot of people don't know this, but Brown Mark wrote pretty much all the songs on that album, with the exception of 100 Miles Per Hour, which was obviously a little bit of an insert from Prince. Yes, it's a lot of fun. We'll figure, just go to the YouTube channel and go and search for Funkatopia Maserati, and you'll see it there. It was a really fun show. We had a good time hanging out with them. Anyways, getting back to the Clubhouse thing, I'm thinking we should probably do some shows on Clubhouse every now and then, just sporadic shows.
Why not?
Because a lot of people are starting to do sporadic shows, and I got sucked into this one conversation this weekend, and it was the most ridiculous conversation I had ever been in. And for some reason, I couldn't get off mute. They were trying to get me to talk, and for some reason, it wouldn't let me off mute. And it was a good thing that they didn't, because the conversation was, well, I guess whoever started the topic said, Prince is better than Michael Jackson. This was the title of the Clubhouse. So this is already fighting words for a lot of people already.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a big fighting thing. But the way that it went off the rails, there was this one guy, he was like 23 years old, and he was like getting mad at the top because he was like hardcore MJ till the day he dies. It was like, and he was like, nobody knows Prince internationally.
Really?
Prince, Michael Jackson has Thriller. What does Prince have? It's like, is this a serious conversation? Are we having is this really an honest discussion? You know, Michael Jackson has Off the Wall, and he has Thriller, and he has Bad. What does Prince have? And I'm just like, Controversy, 1999, Purple Rain, Around the World in a Day, Sign of the Times. I mean, do I need to go? It's just like, and what can anything that Prince did, Michael Jackson can do? And I was just like, what?
I just think it's a ridiculous.
And then he started to get really attacky. He was just like, name one thing that Prince did that Michael Jackson couldn't do. And I was just like, any of his jazz albums? I mean, if we're going to go there, if we're going to go there, it was just this barrage of insane Michael Jackson fans who just were not familiar. There was this one lady that chimed in from somewhere overseas, and she was just like, I like that Purple Whatever song that Prince did, but other than that, he really didn't have it. He was like, what is happening here?
That's funny, Brian. That's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of where it was. And it was just this, but anyways, I think a Clubhouse would be funny to have those types of discussions. I mean, realistically though, I was kind of getting a little bit annoyed. Just because some of the stuff that was being spewed was just.
I'm just going to say, let's never, ever do a Michael Jackson versus Prince show. I will not participate in that kind of show. It's a ridiculous argument. It makes absolutely no sense. Both are great, and both have their strengths and their differences and their weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And they're just superstars to me, both of them. I would not have that argument.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just great. But funny enough, Scotty Baldwin came in, and I was like, oh, there's somebody who's actually worked with Prince for many, many years. He's probably going to add levity to this. And they actually let him talk, and he was able to get off mute, which I wasn't, which is probably a good thing. But Scotty actually got on, and he was having this discussion, and he pretty much laid it out just like you did. It was just like, look, both are great. You know, each one has their own positives, right. and
depending on who you're a fan of, you're just
and he's obviously. Well, Prince actually at one point in time cut him checks, so he obviously probably in the background.
But he's still smart enough to know better. This is not a. If we're gonna have one, let's talk about whether it's white chocolate, truffle,
or peppermint bonbon,
strawberry truffle, or peppermint patty, or Oreo cookie and cookies and cream. I'll have that argument all day. Bring it on, Michael Gabriel.
Yeah, so I just want to have like a little bit of I think it would be fun to have like a little bit more of less important conversations.
Okay. That's cool.
On Clubhouse, just little fun stuff, just kind of Rodney and the Prince 365 group always seem to have some really good things. Oh, speaking of which, they had a Clubhouse over the weekend. Rodney's group 365 did, and they had Rosie Gaines' daughter on the show. And for those who did not listen, Rosie is doing great. She's for those who wanted an update on Rosie Gaines, she is doing fantastically well. She's just chilling, living a good life. She's knitting now. She's into knitting, but as far as the music part of it, her life, apparently she's just not into it anymore. She's not interested in doing anything. But we've got some amazing music from Rosie when she was in her performance mode. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy that she's in good health and she's doing good and she's being active. And that was, Latoya Gaines. And so Latoya is performing. She's actually more of a rocker. Not that Rosie wasn't, but Latoya loves to do rock. But it was good to get an update on Rosie because I think a lot of people we just weren't aware what was going on with her, but she's doing fantastically well.
Yeah, and it's cool if she, is not going the music route. I mean, she did her thing, Yeah.
So, some people that belt it out and do like the hardcore things that they did in their heyday.
Yeah.
To have to recreate that or at least be able to come up to that level after you're 20 30 years removed from that, it's kind of like
it's a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just
it's
nobody
like not gonna happen.
Very few artists can do that. I'm actually surprised that Axl Rose can sing as well as he can sing right now with Guns N' Roses. It's like, wow, you can still hit all those notes. That's pretty friggin' impressive. It's just you just gotta it's tough. It's a tough industry, especially as a vocalist when you have powerhouse vocals like, the guys like, again, Axl Rose and Robert Plant and those people that hit those levels of, and the Steve Perry and those kind of guys from Journey. And it's just like, how do you just,
That's all about the vocal training.
Yeah,
if you did it right, you'll
right.
be all right.
Michael Bublé has it perfect. Michael Bublé said, all right, I'm going to sing music right here.
And stay there.
And I'm going to stay there. I'm going to be able to do this in my 70s and 80s. There's nothing crazy that's happening. I'm not going off the rails. I'll be able to do this for the rest of my life.
And Bublé's going to make it to 120 minimum. So
I don't. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see. Yeah. There is absolutely Vegas residents. I think he's already done one, but I can't imagine that. I can see him settling in Vegas and just
absolutely
doing shows. Yeah,
and just doing shows. That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Speaking of which, Michael Bublé is going to be in Atlanta. I don't know if you heard that. I just heard the announcement.
I didn't hear that. Sweet.
So there's that. All right. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us, man. We had a lot of fun hanging out with Mychael Gabriel, talking about a little bit of this, that, and the other. Some of the stuff that I was going to talk about after the show, we talked about the pre-show. So, but all that being said, thank you so much for joining us. We will upload this video, just the Mychael Gabriel part, not the pre-show or the after show. If you like the pre-show and after show activity, then you got to tune in for it because moving forward, I'm going to be cutting those out. I think the Patreon supporters will be given complete access to the full, unfettered, unedited shows.
Unfettered.
And on all the kerfuffle. But moving forward, we're just going to be doing just the edited shows for the YouTube and whatnot. But, yeah, man. There you go. Great show tonight. Lots of fun. Thank you, Sheila, for joining us tonight. And good night, everyone.
Michael, it was a great interview. Thank you.
Yep.
Well.
And I'm sure that we will talk soon because we will be having an exclusive virtual listening party with Michael. And you just never know who's going to drop in. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Had to do that one more time. I don't know why.
I mean, you have to. I mean, we'll talk to you guys later.